Imagine sitting in a doctor's office and hearing these words. You may need surgery to correct your heart rhythm. For millions of adults over 60, heart palpitations can appear suddenly. The heart begins racing, fluttering, or even skipping beats. Most people immediately assume something is seriously wrong with their heart. And within minutes, many patients are prescribed medications, expensive tests, or even invasive procedures. But an uncomfortable question is beginning to surface among many older adults. What if the real cause of these symptoms was never fully explained? What if simple nutritional deficiencies were overlooked while the focus remained on treatments that generate profit? Because here is something few people are told. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, heart disease remains the leading cause of death, responsible for nearly 1 in every 5 deaths, about 20% of all deaths each year. Yet many early warning signs, including heart palpitations, are often misunderstood or dismissed. In fact, some cardiologists now say that many cases of heart palpitations are not caused by structural heart damage at all. Instead, they may be linked to hidden imbalances in the minerals and hormones that regulate the heart's electrical system. These are factors rarely discussed during a short clinic visit. And when these root causes are ignored, people may end up chasing symptoms instead of addressing the underlying problem. Today, we're going to reveal 5 hidden triggers behind heart palpitations that many older adults are rarely told about. And the number 1 cause on this list may surprise you, a commonly overlooked factor that plays an important role in keeping the heart's rhythm steady and balanced. So make sure to stay with us until the end of this video, where we'll reveal the key nutrient that may help support a calmer, more stable heartbeat. Before we begin, let us know in the comments. How old are you, and where are you watching from today? We read every comment, and many of our videos are inspired by the real experiences shared by viewers like you. Now, let's begin the countdown. Number 5. Thyroid imbalance. Coming in at number 5 on our list is something many people rarely think about when they experience heart palpitations: the thyroid gland. This small butterfly-shaped gland at the base of the neck plays a powerful role in regulating metabolism. It controls how quickly your body produces energy, how warm you feel, and even how fast your heart beats. When the thyroid begins producing too much hormone, a condition known as hyperthyroidism, the body can become overstimulated, and one of the first organs affected is the heart. Thyroid hormones increase the sensitivity of certain receptors in heart cells that respond to stimulatory hormones like adrenaline and norepinephrine. When this sensitivity rises, even small amounts of these hormones can trigger a stronger response in the heart. As a result, the heart may beat faster or feel like it is pounding or fluttering, sometimes even while a person is at rest. Because every heartbeat is controlled by electrical signals traveling through specialized cells in the heart muscle, changes in hormone levels can influence how these signals behave. When this balance shifts, the rhythm of the heart can change as well. A large study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism examined thousands of adults with thyroid disorders. The researchers found that people with hyperthyroidism had nearly 3 times the risk of developing atrial fibrillation, a common and potentially dangerous irregular heart rhythm. Atrial fibrillation significantly increases the risk of stroke and other cardiovascular complications. This is why doctors often check thyroid function when patients report unexplained heart palpitations. Blood tests measuring TSH, T3, and T4 levels help determine whether the thyroid is functioning properly. But here is something many people don't realize. Thyroid imbalance is actually far less common than many other triggers behind heart palpitations. In fact, studies show that most people who experience palpitations have completely normal thyroid tests, which raises an important question. If the thyroid is functioning normally, what else could be triggering those sudden racing heartbeats? The answer may lie in something much more common: minerals known as electrolytes. These include sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, which help regulate the electrical signals controlling every heartbeat. And that brings us to the next trigger on our list. Number 4. Electrolyte imbalance. Another surprisingly common trigger behind heart palpitations has nothing to do with heart disease at all. Instead, it often comes down to something much simpler: the balance of electrolytes in the body. Electrolytes are minerals that carry electrical charges. They include sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. These minerals play a critical role in controlling the electrical signals that regulate every heartbeat. To understand why this matters, it helps to remember something important. The heart is not just a muscle. It is also an electrical system. Each time your heart beats, a tiny electrical signal travels through specialized cells in the heart muscle. That signal tells the heart when to contract and when to relax. Electrolytes are what make these signals possible. Sodium and potassium help generate the electrical impulses that start each heartbeat. Calcium helps trigger the contraction of the heart muscle. Magnesium helps the muscle relax between beats and stabilizes those electrical signals. When these minerals remain in balance, the electrical rhythm of the heart stays steady. But when the balance shifts, even slightly, the electrical system can become unstable. In other words, it can create the exact sensation many people describe as heart palpitations. According to research referenced by the American Heart Association, disturbances in electrolyte balance can significantly increase the risk of irregular heart rhythms. This is why hospitals carefully monitor electrolyte levels in patients with heart rhythm disorders. But electrolyte imbalance doesn't only occur in hospitals. In everyday life, many common situations can quietly disturb this delicate mineral balance. One of the most common causes is dehydration. When the body loses fluid through sweating, illness, or simply not drinking enough water, electrolyte levels can shift quickly. Older adults are particularly vulnerable. As the body ages, its ability to regulate fluid and mineral balance becomes less efficient. Kidney function changes, hormone signals shift, and the body becomes more sensitive to fluid loss. This means that even mild dehydration can sometimes affect heart rhythm. Certain medications can also contribute to electrolyte imbalance. For example, diuretics often prescribed to treat high blood pressure increase urination and can lead to the loss of important minerals like potassium and magnesium. Over time, this loss may disturb the electrical balance that keeps the heart rhythm stable. The encouraging news is that electrolyte imbalances are often reversible. Restoring proper hydration and maintaining adequate mineral intake can sometimes help stabilize the heart's electrical signals. However, electrolyte imbalance is only part of the story. Because some everyday habits can gradually drain these minerals from the body without people even realizing it. Which brings us to number 3 on our list. Number 3, caffeine and diuretics. Caffeine is a powerful stimulant that affects both the nervous system and the heart. When it enters the bloodstream, caffeine blocks the effects of a chemical called adenosine. Under normal conditions, adenosine helps the body relax, slows nerve activity, and contributes to lowering the heart rate. When this calming signal is blocked, the nervous system becomes more active. At the same time, caffeine stimulates the release of hormones such as adrenaline. Adrenaline increases heart rate, strengthens the force of heart contractions, and prepares the body for a fight or flight response. Together, these effects can make the heart's electrical cells more sensitive to stimulation, which may influence heart rhythm in some individuals. Caffeine also has a mild diuretic effect, meaning it increases urine production. This can lead to the loss of small amounts of minerals, such as potassium and magnesium, which may disturb the body's electrolyte balance. Electrolyte imbalances can influence the electrical signals that regulate heart rhythm, as we discussed earlier in number 4. Another important factor is individual sensitivity to caffeine. In people who are more sensitive to stimulants, regular caffeine consumption may cause the cardiovascular system to respond more strongly over time. This is particularly relevant for individuals who already have conditions that affect heart rhythm or hormone balance, including those with arrhythmias, hyperthyroidism, or chronic anxiety. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology reported that individuals with higher caffeine intake had about a 20–30% greater likelihood of experiencing heart palpitations. For many people, moderate coffee consumption may not cause noticeable problems. But for those who frequently notice changes in heart rhythm after caffeine, reducing intake may sometimes help stabilize the heart's electrical balance. But caffeine is only an external trigger. There is another factor that comes from inside the body itself, one that can activate the nervous system and influence heart rhythm even without any stimulants. And that brings us to number 2 on our list. Number 2, chronic stress and cortisol. Chronic stress is one of the most powerful and underestimated triggers behind heart palpitations. Unlike caffeine or dehydration, stress does not come from something we consume. It originates in the brain. When the brain perceives pressure, worry, or emotional strain, it activates a biological response designed to help the body react quickly to danger. This response signals the adrenal glands to release hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones prepare the body for action. They increase alertness, tighten blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and speed up the heart rate so that more oxygen and energy can be delivered to muscles and vital organs. For short periods of time, this reaction is normal and even beneficial. It helps the body respond to challenges and threats. But when stress becomes frequent or persistent, the nervous system remains activated far longer than the body was designed to handle. Instead of occasional bursts of stress hormones, the body is exposed to repeated waves of adrenaline and cortisol. This continuous stimulation can place additional strain on the cardiovascular system. The heart receives stronger and more frequent signals, telling it to beat faster. Over time, the electrical signals that regulate heart rhythm can become more sensitive. One study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that individuals experiencing high levels of chronic psychological stress had a 37% higher risk of developing cardiovascular problems, including irregular heart rhythms. Researchers believe this happens because chronic stress keeps the body's stress response system activated for long periods of time. When the brain perceives ongoing pressure or emotional strain, it repeatedly releases stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones increase heart rate, tighten blood vessels, and stimulate the nervous system. Over time, this constant stimulation can affect the electrical stability of heart muscle cells. When the heart's electrical system becomes more sensitive, the signals that coordinate each heartbeat may become less stable. This instability can increase the likelihood of irregular rhythms or sudden episodes of heart palpitations. The heart may suddenly beat faster or harder even when the body is physically at rest. But stress does more than stimulate the heart. It also changes how the body uses important minerals that help regulate the nervous system. One of the most important of these minerals is magnesium. Magnesium plays a key role in calming nerve activity and allowing muscles to relax, including the heart muscle. When the body experiences stress, magnesium is used more rapidly. Stress hormones can also increase the amount of magnesium lost through urine. Over time, repeated stress may slowly reduce the body's magnesium reserves. Researchers studying mineral balance have observed that people exposed to chronic stress often show lower magnesium levels compared with those under lower stress conditions. When magnesium levels fall, the nervous system can become more reactive and the electrical stability of the heart may weaken. And that brings us to the number 1 cause on our list. Number 1, magnesium deficiency. At the top of our list is the nutrient that may play the most important role in preventing heart palpitations, magnesium. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical processes in the human body, many of which directly affect nerve signaling, muscle function, and heart rhythm. Despite its importance, magnesium deficiency is surprisingly common, especially among older adults. According to data from the National Institutes of Health and National Nutrition Surveys, approximately 65% to 70% of adults over the age of 60 do not reach the recommended daily intake of magnesium through diet alone. This means a majority of older adults may be living with suboptimal magnesium levels without even realizing it. Magnesium helps calm the nervous system and stabilize the activity of heart muscle cells. In this way, magnesium acts like a natural stabilizer for heart rhythm. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed more than 2,000 adults over an 8-year period. The researchers found that individuals with lower magnesium levels had about a 34% higher risk of developing irregular heart rhythms compared with those who maintained adequate magnesium intake. The authors concluded that magnesium plays an important role in supporting normal cardiovascular function. There are several reasons why magnesium levels may decline. Modern lifestyles can significantly increase the body's demand for this mineral. Chronic stress, poor sleep, unstable blood sugar levels, and hormonal changes can all increase magnesium requirements. For example, people with diabetes or prediabetes often struggle to maintain magnesium balance because fluctuations in blood sugar can accelerate magnesium loss. Exercise can also increase the body's need for magnesium. Magnesium is required to produce ATP, the molecule that provides energy for every cell in the body. During physical activity, ATP is consumed rapidly, which increases the demand for magnesium. Some people notice heart palpitations appearing shortly after intense exercise. In certain cases, this may occur when magnesium demand temporarily exceeds the body's available supply. Magnesium levels may also decrease because of increased mineral loss. Certain substances and lifestyle habits can cause magnesium to be excreted more quickly through urine. Caffeine, alcohol, and heavy sweating are common examples. Some dietary approaches, such as fasting or very low carbohydrate diets, may also lead to temporary electrolyte loss. Over time, the combination of increased demand and increased mineral loss can gradually reduce magnesium reserves. Dietary intake also plays a major role. In the past, many people naturally obtained magnesium from mineral-rich water sources, such as wells or springs. Today, most people rely on treated municipal water that contains far fewer natural minerals. At the same time, modern diets often contain large amounts of processed food. During processing, many natural minerals are removed. As a result, people may consume enough calories, but still fail to obtain adequate magnesium. Fortunately, magnesium is present in several whole foods. Dark leafy greens are among the best sources because chlorophyll, the compound that gives plants their green color, contains magnesium at its center. Other magnesium-rich foods include avocados, nuts, seeds, and dark chocolate with a high cocoa content. However, many individuals do not consume these foods regularly enough to maintain optimal magnesium levels. For some people, magnesium supplementation may also be considered. Different forms of magnesium vary in how efficiently they are absorbed by the body. One commonly recommended form is magnesium glycinate, which is known for relatively high absorption and gentle effects on digestion. In contrast, magnesium oxide is absorbed much less efficiently and may cause digestive discomfort if taken in higher amounts. The recommended daily intake for magnesium is typically around 400 milligrams per day for adults. Some experts suggest dividing the dose into smaller amounts throughout the day to improve absorption. For many people, improving magnesium intake through diet or appropriate supplementation may help reduce the frequency of heart palpitations and support long-term cardiovascular health. Heart palpitations can feel alarming, especially when they appear without warning. But as we've seen today, in many cases the cause may not be damage to the heart itself. Sometimes, it simply reflects an imbalance in the body, and one mineral appears again and again in research as an important factor in maintaining a stable heart rhythm: magnesium. For many older adults, improving magnesium intake through diet or proper supplementation may help support a calmer nervous system and a more stable heartbeat. Small daily choices can have a surprisingly powerful impact on long-term heart health. Which of the factors we discussed today surprised you the most? Have you ever noticed your heart reacting to stress, caffeine, or lack of sleep? Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.